Good evening, everybody. It was better. I was telling the chat room today that the nice thing about being up on Yucca Lake was not so much the pleasant weather, the summer weather, being out on the lake. We didn't listen to a bit of news the whole time we were there. So, all right, we can see what's happened here in the market. Getting kind of a little bit lethargic up here in the overbought area. Need to see how they open this market tomorrow. And the same scenario over here on the NASDAQ, kind of getting some indecisiveness up here. Doesn't tell us this trend is over yet. Just kind of warn us there might be some movement here. Crude oil is hovering around $90 a barrel. So, stay with it, watching the news, this for sure, yeah. Dow Jones negated the Evening Star. Yes. Oops. It did, because it never got below the T-line. However, you've had an Evening Star signal. Now you've had another shooting star. Remember, if you start seeing potential reversal signals in the overbought area, that's telling you start watching for a reversal. So that our recommendation to, I can't even remember what we did. Clean energy was based upon this fry pan bottom, trend kicker breakout through the 200, implying more upside. We'd recommended a few days ago, whoops, that same type of setup, fry pan sandwich breakout. So this one is still moving nicely. And PGNY was a very simple analysis. When you see that kicker signal, usually going to imply a major change of investor sentiment, more upside. The retail stocks. I didn't see what happened with what announcement there was on Bed Bath & Beyond, but same scenario. Look where it broke out through the 50 with a doji sandwich. Creating that type of reaction. So the one observation you should see is positive trading stocks are still trading positive, even though the market is a little bit lethargic. So that's one of the benefits I've often found with candlestick analysis, that when you see the evidence of bullish sentiment or bearish sentiment, it doesn't matter whether there's a lot of movement in the market itself. Those positive trading stocks will continue to trade positive. Negative trading stocks will continue to trade negative based upon what we identified in the signals. Keep an eye on Tough Built because of this, and now looking for this. So let's see what else we got here. Oh, so it's kind of conveying the information that if they've passed another major spending bill. And what was this one called? Inflation, something or other. Anti-inflation bill. Which sectors were going to act the best? Taxation and inflation, but you can see that our PLL still moving nicely after a couple of days of consolidation at the 50. ARRY still moving up, but you're seeing some shooting stars, so that kind of creates a little bit of cautionary attention required. CRMD still moving up. What was the one that got slammed this afternoon? Oh, I should have written it down. Okay, so you've got things like rhythm, where you've got wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, but notice what you had, a gap up shooting star. And where is it occurring? Number 1, that far away from the T-line in the overbought area. And if this is wave 1, how big is that wave 3? About the same. That gives you a lot more evidence to start watching for profit taking. So anything that is producing good positive trading is still working. MRTN, after the breakout, the J-hook working nicely. J-hook pattern on INMD. There's kind of your fry pan bottom breakout, J-hook. So this is why, and I'm saying because you should be looking for this. This is what I look for now because I know that the probabilities based upon, look at our wedge breakout, slow curve, support on the 50 on ALDX. So that one is acting well. Did I do this one? Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 still in progress on KYMR. Wave 1, a message, J-hook pattern. So the reason I'm pointing these out is you don't have to learn tons and tons of patterns. Just learn a few and know exactly what should happen after a message, what should happen after a J-hook pattern. Was a CRMD. Whoops. CRMD. Take a quick look here. CRMD. Oh, for crying out loud. I keep doing that. Regular. Yep, that's post. So I guess I didn't do something right. Okay. QuantumScape is another one that might be picking up some steam here. Again, this is one you keep an eye on, not so much for anything else other than the closer they get to perfecting the solid-state lithium battery. So this isn't something that we could think could go from 12 to 15, 20, 30. If they come up with new criteria, not new criteria, get closer to the perfection of the solid-state battery, you might be looking at 50, 80, 100, 200, no telling. Okay, the biggies. What if someone else perfects the solid state? Well, Jay, that could happen, but from what seems to be out there as far as the market potential, there doesn't seem to be doesn't seem to be any indication that there's other companies out there that are any further along than QuantumScape. And the only reason I say that is doing the research on QuantumScape a while back when we were looking at the electric vehicle stocks. Going through all the reports, it was QuantumScape that has been working on this for 10 years, and that was kind of the drawback. They said everybody's been working on this and nobody's gotten product yet. But QuantumScape seems to have been the one that was getting the closest. They are, but again, remember, the best evidence of what information is out there is based upon what is investors finding. And you can see pretty much that obviously that's not in the forefront. That could be true too, Jay. So anyway, I don't want to get off track here, but this is probably knowing too much about a company. QuantumScape, I thought, has something like $100 million of lines to work with. So there's a lot of confidence of people that have looked into it. And I say confidence, I think was it Volkswagen? And Volkswagen's even offered them some of their facilities to do up manufacturing when they need to. I think Bill Gates, George Soros, a lot of big money has done enough research to put in tons of money to teach. No, Volkswagen has put in a lot of money, and they've also offered their facilities, so they're heavily invested in QuantumScape. So, anyways, that's just kind of the background of QuantumScape. So, again, they seem to be in the forefront of people getting close to that solid-state battery. Now, Tesla still does not want to get back up above the 200. With further evidence today, after opening lower, coming up, failing at the 200, and heading back down, that's still some negative influence. And that's another element too, Saki, is that the chart looks solid. So it's not that anything may be happening, but investor sentiment is building back up on its own or for whatever reason. So I say that because of, let's see, 15 boxes of material taken from Mar-a-Lago, all right? That's going to be in the news for a few days, isn't it? But whenever you, it wouldn't be in this case, but whenever you hear rumors or something like that, look to see where the stock is. Are you the first person to find out, or are you the last person to find out? And Apple, getting a little bit testy here. Hasn't closed below the T-line, but starting to see some evidence that things might be backing off. Amazon, same scenario. Overbought, at least with the possibility they could be coming back down to the T-line. Let's see, did I get them all? Did I do ABCL? ABCL working nicely. Okay, so what are the strong stocks? If I can read my own handwriting, how can I be this terrible? Oh. Let's see. M-E-O. Kind of your bobble breakout on VMEO. Now, why is this much more relevant? Because, you know, everybody's watching to see what the stock is doing at the 50-day moving average. That's where lots of people make their decisions. Look at the bullish flutter kicker signal on this one. TDS, a bobble breakout with a bullish flutter kicker signal, fry pan bottom. That's a very strong chart setup. Ooh. Chewy, J-hook type bobble breakout. And once again, look at how they got through the 200 today. Now, everybody and their brother is watching to see what's happening at the 200. We can see how it got up through the 200. There's kind of that J-hook pattern, and look what happened when to get there. Everybody knows this could be a resistance level, and when they're gapping up, heading into that, that's a pretty good indication they don't care that that's a potential resistance level anymore. This one has been acting well, obviously, with that bobble breakout. That was why we recommended that one. Same scenario right here. Look at your kind of your double doji bobble breakout setup. So what are the probabilities? Well, we know a bobble breakout is a much more defined J-hook pattern setup because it has the added feature of everybody watching to see what is happening at a resistance level. Playboy. There's your double doji setup, another one that has good upside potential. Whoops. Okay. This is where you use gaps. Nice wedge breakout with your strong breakout with a gap up. Now you're up here in the overbought condition with a gap up doji. What should that tell us? That should tell us we should be watching for a reversal. And how would we recognize a reversal? The doji rule. If it opens lower tomorrow, the probabilities are pretty strong they're heading back down. And what is our alert? Because you have a gap up in the overbought condition that far away from the T-line in the overbought area. It doesn't matter whether you want to call it an evening star. It's got the potential of an evening star, but just the fact that it gapped up and did a doji is the normal reaction to human nature and that's where you start watching for the sell signal. Why do I have this here? Because I mistyped it. However, that's I better write that one down. That's got evidence of ALEX. The one I was looking for was AZEK. Oh, well, I'm reading my own handwriting. Now, why do I have that here? Gaps. I have no idea. That should be under belt hold. Oh, it is under belt hold. All right, I'm goofed up. All right. And that's not even in the right place. But that's another good-looking bobble breakout. That's goofed that one up royally. So here's one that can be bought, especially on positive trading, because look at everything that's built into that chart. Your bobble breakout, following a left-right combo, T-line support, gap up through the resistance level, look for your J-hook pattern. Jay, that's true. All right. Well, for crying out loud, I am doing something wrong here tonight. All right, so here you can see the fry pan bottom, and you can see where it broke out. And again, when they break out, what did this gap up tell us? At this level, it had no resistance anymore. I think that I see this on the news of something having to do with the, I think the chairman of the board. Okay, that one didn't get slammed after hours. But you can see how that's broken out through the resistance level. So that fry pan bottom, good strong chart setup. And they broke out through the resistance level. Did I just do Chewy? Where did it go? Yes, there's that breakout. SJT, look for the next wave to the upside. Good chart. CMP. J-hook pattern setup. Where do you think your next target's going to be? Well, I would pretty much look for this level as level 1, and then the 200. Is that worthwhile? That's a good 12%, a good 25% at those levels. Bigs, another J-hook pattern, and observe the obvious. Well, no, it wasn't quite as obvious, but you do have a kicker signal down here starting the next trend to the upside. So now what do you do with this? Well, you're starting to have some big days in the overbought area. This is where you start watching for your reversal signals. You're in the overbought area, number 1. Number 2, where do most people buy? They start buying exuberantly at the top. And how do we know that's exuberance? Look how far away you're starting to move away from the T line. A lot of people in the room today falling KOD. Another one that's shown evidence of breaking through the resistance level, and they gapped up to get there. This is usually the indication of a lot of strength coming into this trade. There was the breakouts. That's where this one should have been. And I don't know why it's over here. What's happened here? Have I done something wrong? Oh, belt hold. This is the belt hold signal off of this level, implying more upside. Except today, it might have squelched that idea. And Zillow, another one that's in a trend channel, did a belt hold. If they open this positive, same scenario. They're going to be going through a perceived resistance level after a belt hold that was the stimulus. Would these EMAs work on Forex charts? Yes. Yep. Remember, we're not trading a market with these indicators. We're trading human nature with these indicators. What did code do after hours? After hours, it did. It came back and started back up. I'd still be looking at this to be a buyer on positive trading tomorrow. BCRX. Oh, man, I've got stuff all over the place. That best friend gap up, expect this type of trade. Now, if I hadn't bought, or if I wasn't in this trade, I would know that if it opened lower tomorrow, not in it. If it opens positive, that's still working. You could start buying immediately. Because of that gap up, especially that gap up through something that everybody else is watching. LVLU, kind of your cradle pattern. Inverted hammer, best friend gap up. That's definitely something you could be buying. Matter of fact, you might see that tomorrow. Same scenario over here on top. Cradle pattern. And remember the simple analysis of the Japanese rice traders. The bigger the signal, the more compelling there's been a change of investor sentiment. Fossil is also in that category, that they may be benefiting from this latest stimulus buying. And, oh no, my handwriting again. What is that symbol? I don't even remember. And LAZR. Fry pan bottom, breaking up through this level. First gap is right here. Possible more upside. All right, and a couple on the short side. Unisys, the bigger that signal, the more compelling there's going to be a strong force. Was it vert? Force to the downside. That may it. If it wasn't, it's still a good looking chart. And PDD, so this is why you always watch to see whether this is a message or a failure. Now watching this one, you can see it hit the 34 and came back down. So what do we want to see if this is a message? Let's see it at least trade relatively close to the T-line, and indecisively, the fact that they gapped it down and could not get back up above the T-line made this a perfect short if it opened lower today, which it did. Okay. Nothing going on as far as after markets on the futures. So we still have to assume we're in an uptrend, but we should also be very alert to the fact that if they open this lower tomorrow and start trading down, doing an evening star signal, that our uptrend is probably over. But again, because of the doji rule, we have a much more clear analysis of what should be happening. That if they open this positive, now we've got a doji sandwich J-hook, implying there's going to be a lot more upside, or more upside anyways. Gold is still heading higher. Silver is doing your bobble breakout, and it's trading higher. I haven't even looked at some of the other ones. Soybeans, nothing. Wheat, nothing. That's why I haven't looked at those. Whoops. Lean hogs. There's that belt hold type signal that would continue the uptrend. And that's V. Oops. And live cattle. That's slow, but a J-hook pattern in progress. So if you're trading the commodities, you can basically go through probably the 10 or 12 that are real viable to trade in a matter of less than a minute. And then more than likely, you're not going to be trading a bunch of them. So once you find one that has a trend that's in progress, you're probably going to stick with it until the trend is over. Okay, I think that's about all I got tonight. So are there any general questions on candlesticks? Okay, if not, Jim, go ahead and do the double line. Harry, bobble breakout. Was that a question? And then 3.6 seconds, do the next double line. Do you put stock in sentiment indexes such as the bullish percent index? Do you put stock in sentiment indexes such as the bullish percent index for the S&P 500? Fred, no. Probably wouldn't even know where to find it. The process for finding the best trades, once you know what you're looking for as far as signals and patterns, is I just do a scan for the stocks that had the biggest percent price move today if I'm looking for bullish stocks. And I start going down that list because it's going to be the strongest ones at the top. And usually by the time I've gone through, I want to say just 20 charts, I've already found 2 or 3 good ones. By the time I go through 50 or 100 charts, which you can do by clicking down in a matter of 2 minutes, going through that many charts, I'm going to have found 5, 6, 7, 10, 12, 15 good charts, and so I put them into my bucket and then go back and see which ones of those are the best. But other than that, I don't try to do any indexes or any other indicators other than on TC2000, you can click on which sectors had the biggest trades. So if I look at a sector and I see it's doing a J-hook pattern, I'm pretty assured that there's a lot of stocks in that sector that are starting to move up. And then I can go and see which ones in that sector are doing the best. MMI, nothing wildly exciting on this one, Greg. But if I was going to be trading it, I'd wait to see if it can get up through this level, giving you kind of that classic pattern. DVAX, there's your best friend gap up into wave 3. Stay long. CPS, stay long, nice gap up. And APYX. That one's decent. Expect a wave 3 to be in progress. PBR, J-hook pattern. You can see the classic pattern, fry pan bottom, J-hook. And what accentuates the J-hook pattern? The fact that they use the T-line as a support level. Roblex was moving up nicely. You did have a shooting star in the overbought area. Makes this very simple. If it opens lower tomorrow, you figure they're at least probably coming back to test the T-line. And if that's happening when the market appears to be rolling over, yeah, you definitely want to take profits and then see what happens for the rest of the day in the market as well as the T-line. Sava, just nothing there right now that would get you real excited. It's still got to break this downtrend. If you like it, you could be buying it, but there's nothing real intriguing about that chart just yet. CSX. Just stay long. However, whoops, didn't notice it because I'm partially colorblind. You have a dark cloud in the overbought area. You need to see it do this. If it opens lower, because the market's opening lower, take some profits. JD.com. That's an ugly chart. I probably wouldn't be long or short on that one. If you wanted to trade it, yeah, you could definitely short it on a lower open, but then watch to see what happens at the bottom of the channel. But it wouldn't fit into what I would consider a great short setup just yet. And DFLX, bearish Harami, correct. Overbought. I'd have a safety stop probably at today's low. And Labu, stay long on this one. Same scenario though. You got a doji that's either going to give you a doji sandwich we're starting back down. Let's see, is that Joby? So that's exactly what happened there at a bearish Harami. So the bearish Harami, doji, would have been your alert that the selling had stopped. But today when you saw it open positive, and I'm guessing it traded positive, you stay long, but where would your safety stop be? Right back here where it opened, because logic says if you're up here in the overbought area, that far away from the T-line, you had a bearish Harami, that's a signal that if it's trading positive, it better not come back down through that level. Otherwise, now you've got two bearish indicators. And TGTX, that's a good looking chart. I wouldn't be afraid to be buying that one on positive trading with your best friend, gap up, breakout, J-hook pattern. AU, that's a strong chart with it gapping up above the 50. Whoops. Ego, fry pan bottom. Grasping here. What were some of the other gold stocks? Can't remember. See what some of the silver stocks. Oops. Wampum, maybe. And pause. That's a kind of a bobble breakout. Goldfields, that's that same bobble breakout. Not bobble breakout, fry pan bottom. Another one you could be buying on positive trading. Wayfair continued up after breaking out through this level with a doji sandwich. Now you have a double doji set up. I would definitely stay long on this one. And GDRX, another fry pan bottom breakout. Wouldn't be afraid to be buying that one either. Another fry pan bottom breakout with a doji sandwich gap up. Good, strong chart. Stay with this one. Clove. Let's see. Somebody said they reported after hours. If you're long, now you have to be a lot more attentive as to what's happening right here at the 200. If I was long, I would definitely have a safety stop below today's open. If it came down through there, would that tell you about the 200? They weren't going through with sell signals at that level. Nothing on this chart. Greg, that's, yeah, you're sideways. You could be buying it, but it wouldn't be my first choice because there's really no direction to it. Microsoft. Not, and so you got a dark cloud today. If you're long, you can stay long, but put a safety stop below the T-line. I wouldn't be going long on this. But then again, this one being the quintessential institutional trader is not going to move around a whole heck of a lot. NSC. Another dark cloud after selling. If you're long, get ready to close this out if it trades lower tomorrow. A bobble breakout, fry pan bottom on this one. Good chart. And Pubmatic, you could buy this one on positive trading and then just use today's open as your stop, because this should be going in this direction. If it starts trading this way, then you have to watch to see if the T-line or the 50 is going to act as support. Did DraftKings report today? Right now, if you're long, stay long, but put your safety stop right here. It shouldn't come back through that direction. AMAT, getting a little bit soggy. Kind of a bearish flutter kicker signal. If you're long, it has to open positive and trade positive. If it opens lower, you can start thinking about going short because it's more than likely coming back to test the 50. Zim, stay long, or if you're going long, don't let it close back below the 50. Plug. There's kind of your reversal. Now you have to wait to see whether once they came up through the 200, if they're going to use it as a support level. And FANG, let's see. FANG looks like it's trying to set up for a J-hook bobble. I wouldn't be long or short right now, not until you get more information. Urban, that one you can be buying on the double doji breakout of a fry pan bottom. Usually on a bobble breakout, Harry, the stochastics are probably going to be up near the top end of the range, but you'll see which ones were we doing as a bobble breakout. Your stochastics are kind of doing a little pullback, curve back up. So remember, on a pattern breakout, like a bobble breakout, more than likely your stochastics are going to be near the higher end of the range. This one's a nice breakout. So what's the question? Yeah, you could buy this one on positive trading. VLTA, not found. Cisco, nothing. Yeah, that's a nothing chart right now. Barrick's gold starting back up. You could start buying if you like the gold stocks. AR or AWR, very simple. Your evening star signal, kind of your doji right on the T-line, S&P, what did I say S&P for? On the 200. So trade's very simple. If it opens lower, you've got a bearish, you got a Dagwood. If it opens positive, you've got a J-hook pattern setup. Oh, I was wondering why. Bingo, same scenario. Watch to see what the doji rule tells you up where it opens tomorrow. Carvana, same scenario. If it opens positive, you're continuing this fry pan bottom breakout. Is that the symbol? JMUX? No. MUX? That's a nothing chart. IBM? That's kind of a blase chart. If you like it right now, you can be buying it. It's just not going to give you any great returns, so this would be more of a spread. AMD needs to stay up or at least open positive tomorrow. NVIDIA got crunched. So right now, I would look at this one, that you can short NVIDIA if it comes back down through today's open. Did we do Zim? Zim you could buy. We did Apple early, Don. Right now, it has to stay above the T-line to stay long. OKTA, you're right at the breakout level. If it opens positive with kind of a doji sandwich breakout, you can be buying. Cheesecake, fry pan bottom, just stay long. Tesla we did. Tesla, if it opens lower tomorrow, after failing again at the 200, you could be shorting this one. VLTA. It's just not coming up over here. I don't know why, Ed. Let me take a gander over here. VLTA. VLTA comes up over here. I don't know whether you can see it. You stay long on this. I have one general question. Has the occurrence of gaps reduced due to information age and availability of information compared to 70s or 80s, or the demand and supply still dictates? Still the same. And I can't answer whether it's more or less than the 70s or 80s. No, I can't answer. The Japanese rice traders have provided us information about gaps over the last 400 years. So they've occurred in all time frames, all periods of history. So we wouldn't be knowing about what they do if there wasn't enough gap information in the past. So very, just stay long. ALT, that's kind of a nothing chart. If you went long today, it has to open positive and trade positive to stay in it. And RADA, kind of a little bobble breakout, you stay long on this one. Whoops, ARCO. You stay long, but notice what happened today. They gapped up and did a doji in the overbought area that far away from the T-line. And what's any other relevant factor? They did it right there at where it peaked out before. So now you put your doji rule into effect. If it opens lower tomorrow, close out any long positions. Slow curve breakout. Oh, it's up big after hours. JGERX. Yep, up like a gangbuster. All right, up almost 63%. So anytime you see this setup, it's telling you something is probably happening. You see this setup, something's probably happening. Oh, magic. I can't answer you there. So my answer to that is, if you're listening to somebody else's advice, then you're going to have to live with that as being your criteria. But the whole purpose of learning candlestick signals and patterns is to tell you what you should be doing based upon what has worked in the past. So this is to get you away from depending on somebody else's opinion and being able to control your own investing. This one, That's a toughie because you don't have a reversal signal, which would mean there's too many other good charts that you can analyze and get a much better evaluation. So on this one, well, if it opened lower, I would probably have at least a safety stop down in this level. If it comes down through there in the overbought area, it's probably coming back. So I'd start closing it out on any weakness. Yeah. So remember what you're looking at on something like this. You've gapped up in the overbought area. It hasn't sold off yet, but I'd pick a spot that says if it comes up maybe through this level, it's probably coming back, and that's going to eat up a lot of your time factor. ILMN, just stay long. Got the J-hook bobble breakout. Stay long as it stays above the T-line. Okay. Magic. The reason I want to say, right now I'll be doing a presentation for the NAAIM group, the National Association of Advisors, Money Managers, because if you watched the supposed experts on TV through the years, you'll discover they have no more idea what they're going to buy or Apple if it pulls back to 125, or the market's bottoming out, but I mean they have nothing to go on other than what their opinion is. Jay, if they have a hot five, yeah. So, but remember, there were people telling you that you could still be buying stocks in early 2007, and you'd be down over 50% by early 2009. That's what always leads me back to the sage advice of the Japanese rice traders. Let the market tell you what the market is doing. Veru. Yes, that is a good blue ice failure. So if it starts trading lower, especially breaking this level, obviously the 200-day is your next target. Okay, so we're at a crossroads here again, that this might be a top out scenario, but we have the doji that would pretty much tell us what that scenario might be. And as of right now, there's nothing showing any great strength one way or the other. All right, AEHR, you did basically a meeting line. A meeting line is it opens here, closes here. Opens positive and closes right back at the same level that it closed the night before. That's usually a sell signal. So if this opened lower tomorrow and I was long, I'd be taking profits immediately. Don, no classes this week. I am not going to be here for the Thursday night session. So our Thursday night session is going to be Wednesday night. And that's all that will happen this week. Again, we're kind of in the doldrums of the summer. A lot of people are gone. The market's not doing anything real excessive. So anyways, that's the schedule. Things start cranking back up as soon as we hit the end of August and go into September. That's when you'll be inundated with information. That's right. Plus, when we have the Thursday night session on Wednesday, we're a day ahead of everybody else. We know what's going to happen Thursday. All right, everybody. Thank you for showing up. We'll see you bright and early in the chat rooms tomorrow. We'll see you.